I'll play devil's advocate, at least in part. There was a book, I think in the 80s by David Gilmour, not the one from the Pink Floyd, Manhood in the Making, where he said that the common denominator in most cultures, not all, is that maleness is associated with suppression of emotions. He had a Nancy Kodorov kind of argument for the psychoanalytic side, but he said, if you look at cultures, manhood is a test of endurance almost everywhere. So like they would, in some cultures he surveyed, they would torture you, and if you flinched, you lose your manhood.
Yeah, right.
So is that, would you consider that part of masculinity harmful?
Well, it depends on the degree to which it trains you to endure. It's like, look, there's all these...
But would you say it's defined by suppression of feelings? Because that's what they say.
Not if it's done in a sophisticated manner. It's defined by the what would you call? By the sophisticated integration of the emotions. It's like you're gonna be facing hard things, man, in your life. It's like you're gonna break down. And I mean, look, I'm saying this as a very emotional male, right? Like my proclivity to tears has been overwhelming all my life, and so.
Sometimes in your talks.
Yes. And so I'm saying that, knowing that about myself. What's wrong with the ability to endure? Like lots of times endurance is what you have. When things are really going badly, and they will, you have the ability to put one foot in front of the other. And maybe you're even manifesting negative emotion about it, but that doesn't mean you stop. You don't stop. And that's not just a cardinal element of masculinity, although it is in the symbolic sense. It's a cardinal aspect of the development of a forthright character. You want your children to be able to endure. We're so naive. It's like, no, you want them to be happy. It's like, yeah, fine, but what about when they're not happy? What about when they have a sick child? What about when someone's dying? You know, like what? Well, they should be happy. It's like, God, it's thin gruel. It's a leaky boat. And so you train stalwart individuals to endure. Now, can that go too far? Well, obviously, you know, I mean, every culture can degenerate into cruel tyranny, you know, and they can engage in sadistic rituals that have this justification to train endurance. But what's wrong with endurance? And to inhibit emotion it's not to inhibit emotion precisely, it's to put things in their proper place. When you have people relying on you, including yourself, but when you have people relying on you, you don't get to quit. People die if you quit. They suffer if you quit. It's like,
if you're a parent, especially.
Yes, of course. And you know, and this is why I like the Christian metaphor, at least in part. It's like, pick up your bloody cross and walk up the hill. You know, and of course there's suffering and catastrophe associated with that. It doesn't mean that men should pretend that they don't have emotions, but you know, that's so obvious that it hardly needs to be discussed.